Imagine spending your whole life convinced that every setback, every hardship you faced, was actually preparing you for something bigger. I know that can sound like one more feel-good line you'd scroll past online, but what if it wasn't just a comforting saying? What if it was a principle rooted in an ancient school of thought that has survived thousands of years? I'm talking about Stoicism, a philosophy that doesn't just help us endure life's hardships, but teaches us to embrace them, turning our struggles into fuel for growth. Today, we're going deep into the core of Stoic thought, exploring how this ancient wisdom can serve not only as a light in our hardest moments, but as a daily compass for living with meaning and a strength. Whether you're navigating personal struggles, professional pressure, or the ordinary chaos of everyday life, Stoic teaching gives us a map, not for merely getting by, but for genuinely flourishing, showing us that a fulfilling life doesn't come from controlling our circumstances, but from mastering our reaction to them. So if you've ever felt like you're constantly swimming upstream, if you've ever wondered how to find calm inside the storm, or if you're simply curious how ancient ideas can shed light on modern struggles, you're exactly where you need to be. Join me as we uncover how to apply Stoic principles to turn our hardest moments into our biggest wins, learning to live with purpose, honesty, and unbreakable will. Let's begin this journey together, discovering how to turn the obstacles in front of us into stepping stones toward our own growth. And as we take this journey together, I want to invite you to hit that subscribe button and stick with us for the whole video, because every part of it is built to inspire and uplift you, and you won't want to miss any of it. Have you ever noticed yourself accepting less than what you're truly capable of? It's a common pattern. We drift through days, weeks, sometimes years, never really questioning the limits we've quietly placed on ourselves. That's where a simple but powerful question comes in. Why not? It's a short phrase, yet it has the ability to break through the layers of complacency and fear that keep us stuck. Now let's look at this through a Stoic lens. The Stoics weren't people who sat passively and let life happen to them. They were active, always evaluating their choices and actions through the lens of virtue and growth. When a Stoic faced a decision or a challenge, they'd ask themselves, why not choose the path that leads to growth? This isn't about careless risk-taking. It's about intentional, thoughtful choices that reflect your true values and your higher self. So the next time you're standing at a crossroads, feeling unsure or hesitant about stepping into unfamiliar territory or raising your own bar, pause and ask, why not? Why not go for that promotion, launch that project, or take that leap toward the future you want? It's in these very moments that our path forward gets shaped. But here's the deeper truth. Asking why not isn't only about outside obstacles. It's also about facing the stories we tell ourselves that hold us back. It's about confronting self-doubt, fear of failing, and the pull of staying comfortable. It's a challenge to rise above mediocrity and step into the greatness that already within you. Remember, every Stoic figure you've ever studied, from Marcus Aurelius to Seneca, treated challenges as chances to grow. They didn't choose comfort over growth. They pursued virtue, resilience, and personal excellence. And that's exactly what you're doing when you ask why not. You're stepping into the arena, ready to engage fully with life, to learn, and to come out stronger and wiser. So next time you hesitate, remember, you have the power to rewrite your story, the strength to move past your perceived boundaries. Embrace the Stoic mindset, ask why not, and discover how far your curiosity, courage, and commitment can carry you. Within Stoicism, this relentless drive toward growth connects perfectly with the concept of prokopton, the idea of being a constant work in progress. The Stoics focused on what was within their control, their character, their choices, and how they responded to the world. They weren't chasing perfection, they were chasing progress. And that's exactly what I want you to pursue: steady, unwavering progress. Improvement sits at the center of everything meaningful, whether it's sharpening your skills, strengthening your relationships, or building inner calm. Growth is the essence of a meaningful life. When you're driven to improve, you're living out the Stoic value of self-mastery, committed to becoming your best self, not for praise or recognition, but because it's the truest way to live according to your principles. But being devoted to growth doesn't mean being cruel to yourself. It means holding a compassionate, steady commitment to your own development, celebrating small wins while still hungry for the next stage of your evolution. And yes, there will be setbacks and mistakes along the way. But in true Stoic spirit, you will treat these not as failures but as valuable lessons and stepping stones toward improvement. So how do you build this drive to grow? Start by setting clear goals rooted in your core values. Reflect daily on how your choices align with what you're working toward. Treat challenges as chances to expand your limits and learn. And above all, stay curious and open, always ready to adjust your approach. The path is endless. There's always another skill to build, another virtue to embody, and in that ongoing pursuit lies our deepest joy. So let's treat this drive to improve not just as a means to an end, but as a way of living, supporting one another as we aim higher and live each day with purpose, passion, and an unrelenting hunger for growth. Stoics are recognized for their toughness, their steadiness, and their unwavering loyalty to their principles. When they commit to something, they commit fully, not for praise or recognition, but because they understand that total dedication is what gives life meaning. They don't approach their responsibilities or passions half-heartedly. Instead, they pour themselves fully into what they do, living out the belief that the value of our actions isn't weren't measured by the results but by the depth of our commitment. Giving your full effort means directing your energy, attention, and drive into whatever you pursue. It means waking up each day choosing not to drift through life passively, but to actively build your future through your thoughts, choices, and actions. It's about not only dreaming big, but acting boldly, taking the decisive steps forward even when the road ahead is difficult or uncertain. But here's the key. Giving your all isn't just about what you do, it's about how you do it. It's about bringing honesty, passion, and integrity to your work, your relationships, and your own growth. It's about staying fully present, whether you're focused on a project, connecting with people you love, or reflecting on your own development. And when challenges show up, as they always will, it's about meeting them with courage and resilience, drawing on your inner strength to push past adversity. So how do you begin giving your full effort in your own life? Start by identifying what genuinely matters to you, your values, your goals, your passions, and then commit to chasing them wholeheartedly. Set high standards for yourself and work to meet them daily, not from obligation, but from a real desire to live fully and truthfully. Remember, giving everything you've got isn't a single act, it's a daily choice, made moment by moment, breath by breath. And as you live this way, you'll find it not only moves you toward your goals, but also brings deep meaning and purpose to your journey. So let's walk this path together, encouraging each other to give our whole selves, to live with passion and purpose, and to build a legacy defined by excellence and virtue, because ultimately, what matters isn't just what we accomplish, but who we become along the way. We live in a world full of distractions, temptations, and honestly, plenty of excuses to lose our way. But here's where real transformation happens. When you stay committed to your path despite all the surrounding noise, you're standing up for something bigger than yourself. You're honoring your journey, your values, and ultimately, yourself. The Stoics understood that life is full of distractions capable of pulling us away from our true purpose, but they also recognized the strength found in staying steady, remaining loyal to their principles and goals. For the Stoics, staying true to your path it was a matter of integrity and character. So what does staying on your path actually mean for you? It means having clarity about your direction, knowing what you value, what you're working toward, and the kind of person you want to become. It means setting your course and holding it even when the waters get rough. But here's the important part. Staying on your path doesn't mean being stiff or unyielding. Life is unpredictable, and part of staying true to your course means being adaptable, learning, more experience, and adjusting when necessary, as long as those adjustments stay aligned with your core values and long-term vision. So how do you make sure you're staying true to your path? It starts with self-awareness. Take time to reflect on your values, your goals, and your vision for your life. Write them down, revisit them often, and let them guide your decisions. Build the discipline to make choices aligned with your path, even when they're difficult or unpopular. And remember, resilience matters. When obstacles arise, treat them as chances to strengthen your resolve and deepen your commitment to your journey. We're often told to focus on results, to measure success by what we achieve. But what if there's real power and freedom in releasing our grip on outcomes? This is where Stoicism offers a truly freeing perspective, one that can reshape how we approach life and define success. The Stoics teach that some things are within our control and others are not. Our effort, our intentions, our attitude, those belong to us. But outcomes often depend on forces beyond our reach. When we obsess over results, we set ourselves up for frustration and disappointment, because we're grasping at something we can't fully command. So what does it mean to loosen our focus on outcomes? It means giving your full effort to whatever you're doing, a project, a personal goal, a relationship, engaging completely with the process, embracing its lessons, without becoming overly fixated on the final result. Imagine how freeing it would feel to pour yourself into your work with passion and dedication, not because of what it might earn you, but simply because you believe in what you're doing. That's the heart of Stoic wisdom, finding meaning in your actions themselves, not only in what they might produce. But to be clear, letting go of outcomes doesn't mean not caring about success or avoiding goals. It means redefining success in terms of your own character and actions. Did you act with integrity, courage, and commitment? Did you grow and learn? These are the true markers of success in the Stoic view. So how can you begin adopting this mindset? Start by reflecting on your values and the person you want to become. Set your goals around these principles, focusing more on the qualities you want to build and the actions you want to take, rather than the outside rewards you hope to receive. When anxiety about outcomes creeps in, gently remind yourself of what's actually within your control, and redirect your energy toward your effort and attitude. Picture your life as a mirror, reflecting not only what you show the world but what lives inside you. If you're filled with negativity, fear, or resentment, those qualities will color your experiences and relationships. But if you cultivate virtues like kindness, resilience, and integrity, those same qualities will shine through in your life, drawing in positive experiences and connections. The Stoics stressed the importance of building a strong, virtuous character because they understood it's the foundation of a good life. They believed you can't control the world around you, but you can control who you choose to become within it. And by focusing on becoming your best self, you naturally shape a life that mirrors those same qualities. So how do you put this idea, that you become what you cultivate, into practice daily? Start with regular, honest self-reflection. Examine your thoughts, emotions, and actions critically, but with compassion, identifying where you can grow, and actively build virtues that resonate with you, whether that's courage in hard times, persistence in chasing your goals, or kindness toward others. Remember, this isn't about being flawless or never slipping up. It's about staying aware of your inner state and how it shows up outwardly. It's about aligning your actions with your deepest values, even when it's hard. And when you stumble, as everyone does, having the humility and resilience to learn and keep moving forward. By embracing this Stoic wisdom, you take ownership of shaping your own reality. You recognize that although you can't control everything that happens to you, you have enormous power over how you respond and who you decide to be. And as you align yourself with your highest ideals, the world around you begins to reflect that same depth. Now think about the obstacles you've faced in your own life. We all have them. Whether small annoyances or major setbacks, our first instinct might be frustration or discouragement. But what if instead we saw these obstacles as hidden opportunities, as catalysts for growth and self-discovery? That's the core of this Stoic idea. When the Stoics spoke about obstacles, they weren't dismissing the real pain and difficulty that hardships bring, but they believed that within every obstacle lies the potential for an equal or greater benefit. It's not the obstacle itself that shapes our experience, but our response to it. By choosing to see the obstacle as an opening rather than a wall, we shift from being passive victims of circumstance to active agents of change. So how can you put "the obstacle is the way" into practice daily? Start by shifting your perspective. When a challenge appears, pause and ask yourself what you can learn from it, how it might help you grow. Instead of letting obstacles drain your energy, use them as building blocks for resilience, creativity, and persistence. Understand that the most rewarding journeys often involve the steepest climbs, the struggles you face, the barriers you push through, and the persistence you show all shape your character and your story. Every obstacle becomes a chance to practice patience, courage, and adaptability, forging you into someone stronger and wiser. And overcoming obstacles often demands creative thinking and a willingness to step off the familiar path. It's in these trials that we discover strengths we didn't know we had, while also cultivating gratitude for the growth that struggle brings. In the vast scope of life, it's easy to feel small compared to the size of our ambitions or the weight of our challenges. We might think, what difference can my small effort really make? But here's the truth. Every major achievement is built from countless small, seemingly minor actions. The Stoics understood that we can't control the big outcomes, only our choices in each moment. They teach us to stay present, to do what's right and needed now, without freezing up because of the size of the task or fixating on some distant goal. Doing what little you can is a call to engage with life actively, no matter how small your contribution seems. So how do you live this out? Start by breaking your bigger goals into smaller, doable steps. Focus on what you can accomplish today, even if it's just one small move forward. What matters is consistency, not the scale of the action. Each small step builds the foundation that supports your bigger dreams. This Stoic mindset also teaches us to find value in the process itself, not just the outcome. When we focus on what we can do right now, we become more present, more engaged, often more effective. We learn to appreciate the entire journey, recognizing that fulfillment comes from our daily effort and mindset. In embracing this philosophy, we also build humility and resilience, acknowledging that we're not all-powerful, yet affirming our own agency and impact, learning to adapt and persist even when progress feels slow or invisible. In a world where success is often measured by wealth, titles, or social media followers, it's easy to lose sight of what actually matters. But what if we stepped back and reconsidered what success really means? The Stoics teach that true success isn't about acquiring things or impressing others. It's about building strong character, living in harmony with nature, and fulfilling our purpose as human beings. It's about being honest, fair, courageous, and wise, regardless of circumstances. This view of success is empowering because it puts the power directly in our hands. We can't control the economy, the job market, or what others think, but we can always control our own values and actions. So how do we begin shifting our definition of success? It starts with reflection. Take time to consider what you truly value and who you want to become. Think about the qualities you admire in others and hope to build in yourself. Then set goals aligned with those values, centered on your own growth and your positive impact on others. Redefining success also means learning to value the process, not just the result, celebrating your effort, resilience, and progress even without immediate reward. Success, in the Stoic sense, is as much about how you handle challenges as it is about reaching your goals, about holding on to your integrity and balance no matter the external conditions. And when you stop chasing outside approval, you free yourself to pursue what genuinely brings you joy. You'll likely discover that living with virtue and purpose is far more rewarding than any external achievement. And in a culture that places so much weight on approval and validation, it's easy to lose ourselves, to forget our own values while chasing being liked. But Stoicism offers a strong counter to this outward focus, reminding us that our worth and our choices should come from our own principles, not the shifting opinions of others. The Stoics believed that chasing approval can become its own kind of bondage. We become prisoners to others' judgments, letting their views shape our actions and our self-worth. But when we free ourselves from needing external validation, we gain real freedom and authenticity. We can act according to our own beliefs, pursuing what we genuinely believe matters, whether or not it earns us praise or popularity. So how do we start detaching our choices from the need to be liked? First, it takes real self-awareness, understanding our own motives, distinguishing between actions driven by seeking approval and those rooted in who we truly are. This isn't easy. It takes honesty and reflection, but it's essential for living authentically. Next, we need to build confidence in our own judgment. The Stoics emphasized reason and wisdom as guides for our actions. When we trust our own thinking and act on our own convictions, we depend less on others' approval. We can stand firm in our choices, even when they're unpopular, because we know they're rooted in our deepest principles. It's also important to accept that not being liked by everyone is completely normal. We fear all different people with our own values and views, and trying to please everyone would mean constantly reshaping ourselves to fit others' expectations, losing who we really are. By staying authentic, we naturally draw in relationships built on genuine respect and shared values. And even when we face criticism, we can find peace in knowing we're living with integrity, true to our Stoic principles. In a world that constantly pulls at our time, focus, and energy, learning to say no is an essential skill. It's not just about turning things down, it's about affirming our priorities, our values, and our independence. Stoicism teaches us to concentrate on what truly matters and what's within our power, and sometimes that means turning down requests or opportunities that don't align with our core values. The Stoics believed in living in harmony with nature, which meant recognizing and respecting our own limits. They understood that our time and energy are limited resources that must be spent wisely. Saying no becomes an act of discernment, a way to make sure we're devoting ourselves to what's be me, not just what's urgent or asked of us. But let's be honest, saying no isn't easy. It takes courage, especially when we're used to pleasing others or fear disappointing them. Still, the Stoic approach teaches us to trust our own judgment and act from reason and virtue, not fear or pressure. When we say no with calm conviction, we're not just declining something, we're making a clear statement about our priorities and our commitment to living truthfully. So how do we get better at saying no? It starts with clarity. Knowing your values, your goals, and your direction makes it easier to recognize which requests fit your path and which don't. And remember, saying no doesn't have to be harsh. It can be done with kindness, expressing gratitude while still declining firmly. Practicing this skill can be freeing. It releases you from unnecessary obligations, lets you focus on what truly matters, and builds self-respect as you honor your own needs and boundaries. It might even earn you greater respect from others who recognize your clarity and integrity. How do we truly master letting go with balance? It comes down to understanding and internalizing the line between what we can control and what we can't. We can control our effort, our attitude, our character, but not the outcomes, other people's actions, or the twists of fate. Once we truly grasp this, we start to free ourselves from the frustration, anxiety, and disappointment that come from holding on to things beyond our reach. But to be clear, letting go with balance doesn't mean not caring. It means caring deeply about the right things, the things that are truly ours to control, and accepting the rest with calm acceptance. It's about investing our energy wisely, pouring passion into our actions, while releasing our attachment to the results. Imagine how much lighter your past if you stopped agonizing over every little thing that doesn't go your way, if you stopped getting tangled in situations that don't truly touch your core values. That's the freedom Stoicism offers, a path to inner peace and strength no matter what life brings. So how do we build this skill of letting go with balance? It starts with awareness, paying attention to our reactions and reminding ourselves to separate what's within our power from what isn't. It also takes practice. Like any skill worth building, we can start small, with everyday annoyances, and gradually apply it to bigger challenges. As we practice, we'll likely notice something remarkable. The less we try to control what we can't, the more control we actually gain over ourselves and our reactions. We'll discover a new sense of calm and clarity, even amid chaos. As we move through life, embracing Stoic wisdom, we come to understand that our greatest strength lies within us, in our ability to choose our response, to focus on what truly matters, and to let go with grace. Remember, the path to peace and fulfillment isn't found in outside praise or possessions, but in building virtue, resilience, and inner calm. Thank you for being here with me today, for being part of this Stoic Journal community. Please keep exploring and deepening your understanding by checking out one of the recommended videos on screen. Together, we grow stronger, wiser, and more grounded in the principles that guide us toward a life of purpose and meaning.